Hello, 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 beloveds, and welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and what a great day it is today to welcome you and to have you present with me. Good morning, Mahogany. So glad that you're with me today. Wow, I'm here to improve my life. I am here to improve my life. When I think about people, including myself, that are stuck in beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve me, I am here to improve my life. The bottom line is that many times people get caught up in the drugs and the alcohol and the addictive behaviors, those weapons of mass distraction. Good morning, David. So glad that you're with me today. We get caught up in those weapons of mass distractions because we're stuck in beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve us. And when I say we are here to improve our lives, my question is, good morning, Nancy. My question is, are you here to improve your life? Like, are you happy being stuck in certain beliefs and behaviors and those beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you? I'm not. Sometimes I'm not aware that these beliefs and behaviors no longer serve me until something happens in my life. And when that something that happens in my life is something that I don't want to have happen, I pause. I pause and I begin to examine what belief and behaviors cause that thing to happen in my life. So, it's important that we gather. It's important that we come together. It's important that we recognize those subtle ways and also those overt and covert ways that our mind works and tricks us and keeps us stuck in those patterns, those belief patterns that mean us no good. Now, the way that it comes out in recovery is that people begin to overeat. People begin to they begin to use drugs and alcohol. They begin to recognize that their behaviors, whether it's obsessive, whether it's social media, whether it's shopping, Amazon is fulfilling the addiction of so many people right now and is making it even more convenient than ever before, because from the touch of a couple of keys, you got stuff coming to your house. Like, so the buying, the sex, the drugs, the alcohol, the eating, those behaviors and beliefs, we have a certain way of escaping, but what are we trying to escape? And so the idea is to reconnect with consciousness. The idea is to begin to engage in a spiritual practice or a practice. For me, spiritual means life affirming, for us to begin to recognize that I don't like the way this feels anymore. I remember, eating late at night and then trying to go to sleep and feeling like, bleh. It's like, that don't work for me. I don't like feeling that. That is like one of the worst feelings ever, ever, or coming to not knowing what people did the night before, like that stuff is crazy, over shopping and not having enough money to get the things that I need. I mean, those are for real things. And when I think about being stuck in those belief patterns and then the behavior patterns, something's got to change. And if you keep experiencing the same things over and over and over and over again, it is the classic description of insanity. So what is the solution? Because there is a solution there. And here's the thing is that those things are happening for people being stuck in behaviors and beliefs and acting out in addictive ways because they have a spiritual malady, a spiritual sickness, meaning that you're not getting enough vitamin G, enough vitamin L, enough vitamin God, enough vitamin good, enough vitamin life, enough, vitamin D, delight, and when that happens, we need to shore ourselves up. So what do we do for the spiritual malady? Well, that's why my show is called A Spiritual Remedy, because there is a remedy for the spiritual malady. The idea is to recognize that this no longer works. And one of the first steps is honesty, getting honest with ourselves and saying, hey, yeah, this is a problem. And sometimes, you may be in it and not think that it's a problem. But, when it starts affecting other people and people around you and people in your life, and when you find yourself isolated, when you find yourself alone, engaging in your addiction by yourself, then it's like, what do you do? Hopefully you reach out. The bottom line is that there is a spiritual remedy. And when we actually come to believe that by reconnecting with consciousness, that I am presence, when we connect with that I am presence and we begin to dive deep into ourself, what we get to find is that right where we are, there's a power and a presence and a life that is ready to show us our good. The idea is that we become less dependent upon the booze, the drugs, the alcohol, the people, the social media, the cell phones, the shopping, the sex, the food, all of that. We become less dependent on that and more dependent on this indwelling power and presence. It's that essence, that thing that is living you right now. And so when I say I'm here to improve my life, really, what we're here to do, beloveds, and if you're within the sound of my voice, we are here to grow our consciousness so that in growing our consciousness, our life improves. Now, consciousness is the ground of all being. Consciousness is all of life. Consciousness is, we are swimming and surrounded by consciousness, by life, by this power and presence that has created everything. And I'm not talking about a power and presence that is like, oh, you're misbehaving, or oh, you dope fiend you. Nah, I'm talking about life itself, that this is just the way life is out picturing, and that, I'm sorry, God ain't mad at you. God is not mad at you. God ain't mad that you drinking and drugging and da-da-da, woo, woo, woo. Your life is the life of God. Your life is life itself. Ain't no God mad at you for living your life. Your life is the life of God. The question is that, are you willing to now connect yourself and be connected with this indwelling power and presence so that you can live your best life? What's up, Cindy? Cindy and I go way back. Now, that is the question. See, there is a spiritual malady that we are experiencing, but the spiritual remedy is reconnecting, consciously reconnecting with that indwelling power and presence that is everywhere, that ain't mad at you. This power and presence is not upset with you. This higher power is not mad at you. This higher power is simply ready and available. It is life itself. And to the degree in which you then connect, reconnect, bring your conscious activities to consciousness, when you begin to hang out and dwell in this essence of life is all there is, and there isn't really this bad energy kind of thing. There's only how I utilize my life. What am I going to do with this 24 hours that I have? My shirt today is 525,600. And that is how many minutes there are in a year, and it comes from the movie Rent, or from the screen, the musical Rent. And I wear this to remind me of how I use my minutes. How am I using my minutes? Am I using my minutes for my highest and best? Because when I use it for my highest and best, it can't help but be the highest and best for all. For all, because we're connected. Because that energy, that source that is in me is in you. And so when we grow our consciousness, our life improves. And that is actually the whole idea of like 12-step programs and recovery programs. It is in fact to put us in touch with a power greater than ourselves as the solution to all of our daily living problems. That's it. Period. So that I become dependent upon this indwelling power and presence, but I get to find it first. And so that's why I'm excited, because in June, we're going to open the doors to Vida Spiritual Learning Center. And at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, we're going to have courses and classes and groups and meetings and just gatherings for people in the Long Beach and the greater Long Beach area to come, and also online services to come and to be able to meet other people that are on a similar spiritual path, that want to experience this spiritual remedy. It's going to be places where I'm teaching, and I have some other great, amazing teachers. We're going to have it in English and Spanish. It's amazing what is being prepared for us right now. And it's all come out of, a desire to be a contributor to humanity, to be able to share spiritual tools and loving support for your personal transformation. I am frankly tired of watching people like go to treatment or find recovery and then be so rigid, like, instead of actually finding a freedom within that benefits their best life. Like, I'm all about living your best life and loving it. I'm all about finding a rhythm and a pattern that fills you and that supports you to live your best life. Because when you're living your best life, those people around you are shifted and changed, because your energetic shifts and changes the energy around you, and it shifts and changes the energy of the people that surround themselves around you. And so I'm here to improve my life. I'm here to improve my life. It's interesting because I'll tell you something. When I was drinking and drugging, I was simply chasing that. Like, I want more. If this is good, imagine what more is. More and more. Like, it was like that mad dog. Like, I want more. I want more. I want more. And that's a natural state, but not for drugs and alcohol, right? Not for something so destructive in my life. Fast forward 35 years later, and I still have that drive, that desire to live an amazing life. I mean, it's interesting that even with everything that's happening in the world around us, things that are happening in my personal life with family members and things of that nature, there is still this I'm going to say lust, even though lust is one of the 7 deadlies, there's still this lust for life, this desire to live and to live fully. Some of us have lost that. Some of us have just like, it's just time to make the donuts. And if you've lost that vigor and that lust for life, it's probably because you too are stuck in beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you. They no longer serve that desire for living and living fully. And I'm not talking about like having mansions and yachts and jets and all of that, even though all that kind of stuff would be a heck of a lot of fun and probably maybe a headache to manage and all of that. However, I am talking about those moments and making true connections with other people. I am talking about those moments when, even when I'm alone, when I feel the power and presence of all of life right where I am. It's about that joy that I feel when my feet are touching the water of the ocean and are in the sand. It's, hearing my mom's voice on the other end of the phone, making those kinds of connections. Like that for me is pura vida. That is pure life. That is, a car has its blinkers on. Go ahead, go ahead, go. That's pura vida. That is like pure joy, being in the flow of living. And so, beloveds, if you are not loving your life right now, if you're not loving your life, if you're not happy with what it is that you're experiencing in life right now, what I'm going to suggest to you is that you might look and take a look and see where you might be stuck in belief and behaviors that no longer serve you, where that spiritual malady is coming to fruition. What's up, Farrell and Paul and Michelle and Denise and Cindy? Thank you all for tuning in today. I really appreciate this. What I'm asking you to do is to look within you, see if there is a spiritual malady, a spiritual sickness, meaning life, spiritual, life affirming, right? So is there something that is no longer affirming your life? And if so, there is a spiritual remedy. And I would love to connect with you. I would love to support you on your journey. I would love to support you in actually utilizing the remedy so that you're living your best life, that together, as we grow our consciousness, our life improves. That's what I want for me. That's what I want for you. I want to hear people around me being like, yo, I love my life. I love my life. There's things happening. Life is in session for sure. And I love my life. Yes, folks are dying, folks are sick, there's this lack and that lack, and there is a spiritual remedy for all of it, So I can't wait to fill you in a little bit more on Vida Spiritual Learning Center that's going to be launching in June. There's going to be a local place for us to gather in person, and also we'll be offering some online activities for those of you who are out of the area or who still want to socially distance using social media and using online methods. Classes like the 4 agreements, like, living the serenity prayer, living the Lord's Prayer, classes on science and spirituality and how they come together, financial freedom courses, all kinds of stuff that are being developed with you in mind so that you can experience the life of your dreams. That's what I'm here for. So how are you going to spend your next 24 hours remembering that each and every minute counts? Because there's 525,600 minutes in a year. So how are you going to dedicate yourself to growing your consciousness so that you can improve your life this year? Know that you're loved. Reach out to me. I love you, and I'll be here again next Monday. Thanks for now. Bye for now.